everybody. I'm going to get some of these tubes into this pan this morning. As always, Meaden's deal has not yet ended, which it says it's going to end in 2 days. We'll see. But right now it's $19.95 for all 48 sets. And then if you chose to get one of these, you're looking at getting potentially, let's see. So it'd be $20 for that. And then the tray is only $6.44. Let's just make sure. I want to see the price of the shipping on that. $7.99 shipping on the order for this, but you don't have to get this one. You could get some other options too. The real deal is the paints. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some paints in here. This is a 18 weld palette, and I'm just going to put some of the paints in there, and that's what I think we're going to paint with today. So I'm going to do that first. There are smaller sets, but if you're looking to get a gift for that art person in your life, this would be the one. I want to see pale green. I got to get my greens in here for sure. So we've got those greens. I've got the yellowish green. I'm definitely going to need my gamboge. Which one is this one? Pale, yellow, pale, or let's do lemon yellow. This one, permanent yellow deep. I don't think so. Orange red, probably. Yeah, that makes sense. Orange yellow. This one is vermilion red. That makes sense. Let's do this one too. This one's rose. Since the palette has 48 paints, it will not fill this whole paint palette, but it will generally give you a good idea as to what colors you would really need. You're not going to need necessarily all 48 at once. If you could paint one painting with 48 colors, that would be pretty impressive. This one is mid-green. I feel like I should put that in there too. I definitely like putting some light colors in a palette, so we'll put that blue and this pink. I'm not going to grab a lot of blues because I just generally don't use blue that much. So let's see, what's this one? Indigo for sure. Is this one ultramarine? Yes. You almost always want an ultramarine and an indigo in your palette. What is this one? Sky blue. I'm going to say yes to that, and then we're going to stop on the blues for a little bit. Let's get a few more. How many do I have right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I can do 4 more. So let's get a black in here for sure. Or a Payne's gray will work. And then we'll also do a purple. What purples do I have? Let's see. We've got a dioxazine violet, a regular violet. We have the purple gray. Got a lot of purples in this one. Brilliant purple. Purple pale. I'm looking at this. I've got, I feel like I should probably do the brilliant. Let's do the brilliant. And then, what else? What else? A brown for sure. Burnt umber and burnt sienna. I'm going to take one of these greens out. I don't know that I need all of these greens. So let me see. I need sap. I need yellow and this one. And then we'll grab a brown. This one is raw umber, burnt sienna, and then also, okay, so the weirdest thing, this is phthalo blue. Why is it in this color though? Let me see what the top looks like. Yep, that's very blue. Weirdness. I'm not sure why it was put into that particular container, but whatevs. And then I need a white too probably. So I'm gonna have to recount because I lost count. Let's definitely do, I'm gonna swap out this vermilion red for a crimson red. This one is a scarlet. Let's keep it crimson. We'll definitely do burnt umber, burnt sienna, and white. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oops. 13, 14, 15, 16, and then I have 17, 18. I just want to confirm I like the choices I picked. Let's make sure it's, I think I want this Peach Blossom. And which rosé do I want? Or do I want like a magenta? That's purple red, which is probably a magenta. That's regular, probably bubblegum pink. Oh, what should I pick? What should I pick? And good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to fill this palette. That's basically what I'm doing, is picking my colors to fill this palette. I got this super cheapy at a local dollar store. It's like an 18 well palette. There is one in the links today if you want access to it, but the shipping is high. So don't feel obligated by any means. But the paints themselves are a real good deal. I think I'm going to do that one. I think. Yeah. Excuse me. The worst of the worst, I can clear out the palette itself and just like clean out the actual and restart over. All right. So what we're going to do now, let me put my box back here, is we are going to fill this paint palette and try not to spill my box of paints everywhere. Okay, there we go. Which one is this one? Maybe later. Okay. Like this. All right. So I'm going to go in and fill these in. These are, again, this set of Meeden paints, these tube paints are currently $20 for the whole set. And there's 48 of these tubes. And this is only 18. So the other 20 are still sitting in the box, right? Because that's a lot of paints. So I'm going to go in and do all of my greens first, because those are the ones I use the most. Because I'm generally a botanical artist first before I do all of the other things. So I'm just going to go in here, and I'm not going to be super precious about where I put them. I'm just going to try and keep them in groups. So basically you just squeeze them out in little dots. A little goes a long way. And if it's not enough, you can just replace it. So again, I'm just going to kind of pop these in. And if I have not read any comments yet, I apologize. I've just been so caught up in trying to pick all of my colors, which can actually be really super duper fun. Hi, M68. How are you? I haven't seen you in such a long time. What's interesting, though, is so I bought these paints to potentially be fillers for the paint palette that I currently have from Meeden. It's like the white one that opens up and it has all the square paints already filled in for you. And they don't have matches for that set. Like the greens don't match the set. Like they have a black green in that set. They have, I don't know what the other one is called, but the colors don't exactly match. And it's wild to me because I'm like, what do you mean? Like this one won't go in there. Where's the black green? And it's not in the set. So I have to reach out to them and ask them about that. All right, so I'm just going to keep filling. Hi, Heidi. I'm trying to use these more because I have them and they were so cheap. But if I don't if I don't fill a paint palette with them, I'm just not going to pull them out as quickly, you know? I always like having a few paints on hand that are creamy like this because they're a good base. I know I love the black green, but they don't come in the tubes. At least not that I have seen. Like they got pale green, phthalo green. They have viridian green, but no black green. I'm actually going to reach out to them maybe today in my free time. Like that exists. All right. I'm just going to keep going here. Now this is actually indigo, so it looks black, but it's actually blue. And then I'm going to I have 4 left, so we'll do the browns. No, we'll do the purples. We have this purple. We have the brilliant. So this one is ultramarine, which is basically a blue purple. And then we have this one is the vibrant purple or brilliant purple, which is definitely giving violet tones. And then in these last two, we'll do black and white, I think. So black. I know some people like to mix their blacks, but I am not afraid to use regular black. It's convenient, you know? Got our titanium white. Thanks for the hearts. And then some whites in there. So, and for those of you who are like, do you really use white? Yes, I do. I use it as a mixer. It kind of makes the paints a little creamier when you're putting them down. So I often do use them. All right, let's move this way. I'm going to go ahead and start adding the other colors in over on this side. All right, yellow first. So this is lemon yellow. I use that as a base quite a bit in my paints. This is Gamboge yellow. This is my favorite yellow of all the yellows. We're going to put in, this one is orange red. And then I'm debating about what to paint today. I'm definitely going to do something with a botanical on it. I just have not completely committed to what that's going to look like yet. All right, we'll put this one in here. Also, is it just me or is it really satisfying to see a rainbow? Even if it's just on my paint palette. Even if I don't paint in rainbows, it's super satisfying to see it. Okay, 3 more. Just dropped one already, of course I did. Excuse me. I had a full-on allergy attack last night after Thanksgiving dinner and could barely function. Like, I ended up going to bed super early, and super early for me is like 9:30. I'm usually not in bed until, did I get all the colors? I'm usually not in bed until like 11 or 12. So that felt very early to me. That dark brown. And then did I get them all? Did I miss one? I feel like I missed one. I don't think I put this sky blue in, did I? Maybe I did. Yes, I did. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. What did I miss? I missed one. I didn't put it in here. Oh, well. It's fine. I'll put in this pale purple. Perfect. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started on something. Something with botanicals, maybe presents. I did this the other day, and I really liked this one. So I might do something like this again. That was really cool. And I had so much anxiety when I started with it that I honestly wasn't sure I was going to finish it because it felt so like, oh, how is this going to go? But I think I can probably pull it off again, or I can try anyways. The brushes I'm going to be using today are Artify brushes. I haven't used my Artifies in a long time. They just get hidden under all of my art supplies. And then I forgot how much I liked them. So I'm going to go ahead and unpin this. And I'm going to pull out my Artify brushes. If you're curious about what the best kind of supply combos are when you're working with what to get somebody for the holidays, any sort of gift set that includes paints, brushes, and paper is probably really a good idea. The other good ideas that you could potentially come up with is, I'm going to pull out 2 filberts. I have not used filberts in forevers. This one's more filbert than this one is, though. We'll do those, and then we'll do definitely a round brush, maybe a small and a large round brush. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so that should be pretty good. And then notice how in this set, it comes with like all of these brushes, and it's only $30 for all the brushes. Even if you just got someone who you know likes to art, a brush set that has that many brushes in it to play with, that's cool. That's real cool. Okay, so something like this. I might even do stockings too. I was thinking about that as well. Doing some sort of stockings. Okay. So, and you all know I love this paper, these tins. I think I'm going to try and mimic this one again, but maybe with some different tones. So I'm just going to pop this guy up right here so I can see it while I'm working. And I did the brown base, so I'm probably going to do that again, but maybe with some blues. I don't know. Let's do the browns first. So I'm going to pull this out. I'm just going to wet this down. I want it to be real light going down so I can build up the paint over the top. I'm thinking that brown base is more like paper bag tone wrapping paper with just real pretty bows over the top. Okay, I'm just going to do the same one, I think. So I'm going to just make that rectangular shape. If you need to trace a box or something, you certainly can. There's so many options. But I haven't painted a filbert in forever, and this feels good. This feels really good. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and go like this. I'm just adding water. I don't redip my brush every time. Sometimes you just want to spread that paint out, that first bit. It's almost like you're filling a lasagna pan with sauce, and it doesn't cover the whole bottom of the pan, but you still want to like spread that sauce out and make it work so it covers the whole bottom. That's what you're really doing here. You're just trying to cover the whole bottom of that lasagna pan with a little bit of sauce. The luxury here is you can use water to spread it out a little bit more. So I'm just going to check the shape. That means I'm just going to kind of like extend this out a little bit more because it feels a little bit wonky. And the base of your present does not need to be perfection because you're going to be painting over it. Okay, so we've got the present shape in place. I'm going to go ahead and hit this with some heat. I use a heat gun. It should take no more than 15 seconds to dry my painting. And that's super convenient for me because I am painting live and I want people to get the best bang for their buck when they're hanging out. I'm going to go over this one more time. I just want it to be a little bit more shadow, like color shadow in some of these corners. I'm just going to go ahead and spread that out a little bit. Okay, so it just looks a little bit more interesting in some of those shadowy areas. Okay, just like that. Make sure I'm hitting everybody here. Thanks for all of the hearts. We're already at almost 2K. That's great. I appreciate it. And it doesn't cost anything to support an artist that way, that's for sure. Just tap the screen a few times and it's really very much appreciated. Okay. So now I've got some of those edges a little bit more highlighted off the piece. Thanks for the heart, me Sam. We're going to hit it with heat again. Obviously, the more puddle you have, the longer it's going to take to dry. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to go back over this with this bow-like shape. So I'm going to start with the center bow. This should be dry. So as I go over it with watercolor, it should not bleed. You want it to be dry before you continue to paint because while bleeds can be really attractive and beautiful, not when you're trying to create a whole different shape over the top. And if you're going to do that whole idea there and you're not going to sketch first, you want to make sure that your first layer is really light and that you also know you're going to be building this up as you go. All right. And while I'm working, I need you guys to tell me like what deals are out there right now. I want to know what have you shopped for Black Friday? Because today's the day, right? Today is the shopping day. All right, I was actually thinking, I just don't know if it would be bright enough. Let's go with blues for right now. I'm going to grab some of these. Let's do the ultramarine. So you guys can see over here, here's my paints. And I'm going to show you the paints that I'm using again. These ones are the super sale right now. You can get all of the paints for $20, not including shipping. Oh my gosh, I'm hearing a kitty freak out in the background. Hopefully she's not dry puking or heaving. All right, I'm going to go through like these right over the paint like that. The only thing with these paints is you definitely need to have a palette to put them in, but a palette doesn't have to be like this. It could just be a plate. This is just the one that I filled in today. I'm not a shopper. I'm supposed to be decorating today, but watching you and having coffee. I love that. Thanks for hanging out, Lori. I appreciate you. Not everyone's in a position to shop, number one. Some people are already done shopping, number two. I was just curious, like, has anyone actually gone out today? I remember I would go out and I would shop for Black Friday. I never went early. I always went at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning because that was when the crowds weren't as crazy. Okay. And I'm already liking this already. I think this is good. And then in this space, I think, yeah, I'm just going to go across like this. I was just wondering if there's something I should be getting for myself or my family this weekend. Oh, thanks for the heart me feral mom. Is he though? Yeah, do you know what he's getting, feral mom? I'm sure you do, Mystical Priestess. I used to work at JCPenney back when I was in my 20s, and this was a day, though we were never open as early as like Target or Best Buy, but I remember driving by those areas and seeing the lines. And I remember going once to Best Buy to just try and see what the deals were. And it was like 8 o'clock in the morning that day. So I walked in, I'm like, wow, it's really not busy in here. And when I left, I was like, I'm going to go get in line now with my 2 CDs or whatever it was. And literally the line was like, the people that I saw in the back of the store were actually part of the line. And I was like, oh dear God, that's crazy. Okay. I think at this point, I'm going to hit this with heat again because I want to do a bow over the top. So there's a lot of heat on some of these presents because they dry. You want them dry when you're going over and adding other details. So, good morning, Priscilla. I generally would say paint in tandem. So either you want a heat gun or you want to be painting a whole bunch at once so that they can all kind of dry on their own. But I like to use a heat gun so I can one and done and walk away if I really want to, you know? All right, most of the water seems to be on the edge of this plus. I got 2 things off the TikTok shop. What'd you get, Audra? He's at a vintage record shop that is giving away vinyls. Oh, that's a deal. I love small shopping too, because I'm guessing the record shop is a small business, yeah? Okay, let's go in over this with a bow. I'm going to use the same color, I think. And I want to try and recreate this bow because I really like this one a lot. Let's see what I can do, though. I think I did 4 bows. So I'm going to go in darker. So actually what I'm going to do up here is I'm going to add a little bit of this indigo to darken up this blue so that when it goes down, it still pops off a little darker than the bow underneath. Like that. Yes, very small. Trying not to shop chains this holiday season. I love that. I love that. I appreciate that. I have my craft shop on Sunday from 12 to 5 where I'm going to be selling my crochet stuff. And I'm really excited, but I'm also really nervous. And I'm trying to like remind everyone like the shop small stuff is so important, especially right now because this is where a lot of those small businesses this is their moneymaker for the year when it's real quiet in January. They rely on this for their income and their future endeavors with their art or business or whatever they're doing for sure. Make it bloom. Thanks for all the emojis. I love it. I love it. I love it. So far, so good. I'm feeling really good about this. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with that big bow in the center. Hopefully it won't bleed too much. And I'm gonna let that sit for just a minute. I would like to do some sort of botanical in the background, kind of like I did with this one. I could probably do the red berries again, or maybe some leaves. I don't know. I worry if I go too hard on this, I'll lose some of the beauty on this actual present right now. That's okay. I'm 68. No worries. I'm just happy you're here for sure. Yeah, the blue's looking really nice. I actually need to lift this up a little bit. So I'm going to go in here and just lift some of that paint off so that it has more of a 3D effect. Right over here. Let's do the same right there. Okay. See, doesn't that look better when you just go back in? It gives it such a texture. I'm going to do the same thing on the center, like that. And then what it does is it leaves almost the pigment to sit outside of whatever you just painted. My mom was a self-taught watercolor artist. I'm just starting out and learning at 57. Good for you. I started learning at, what am I now? I started learning at 41. So I had never done anything with watercolor. My family, well, crafty, had never done anything with watercolor. This just felt like a really good jumping off point for starting an art path, and it felt accessible. And I could make really simple things with watercolor, even as a beginner, and not feel overwhelmed, you know? Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab my pens that I love using, and I'm actually going to make some stripe detail on the paper in the background. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let me go ahead and show you that. I'm not sure how much longer this set is going to hold its deal. Right now, the 72 retractable is $42. Or no, not 42, 48 with coupons, not including tax. But it's a huge set. So like here's the set, right? And they come in like sets of 12. They come in sets of 24. I bought the 24 originally, and then afterwards I'm like, I want the other set too, because I know I'm going to use them. So these are the ones that I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use this one. This one? No, I'm going to use this one. I want that dark tone. This one is going to go on the back of that brown wrapping paper. It's so satisfying though, right? Like, you guys must love it or you wouldn't be here. Like, there is just something highly therapeutic about working with watercolors, you know? Yes, I don't know what it is. It feels accessible. It feels pretty. It feels like, I don't know. When I started, it felt like something I could do. I could make it my own and not feel overwhelmed by it, you know? Hi, honey. Sorry, guys, I'm getting snuggles from my daughter. She just woke up. And she's leaning on my drawing arm, so it's hard for me to move. Thank you. So I just want this to be a little thicker, which is why I'm going over it. And then I'm going to zoom this in so you guys can see the sparkle. Oh, thanks for the coffee. I have not gotten my coffee yet today. I need to do that soon. We're actually going to see Wicked at the theater today. Not the movie, the original. So that'll be fun. We're doing that at 1 o'clock. We're doing a matinee. And so I'm going to do this the whole way through. So like, as you can kind of see, it's going to kind of be tucked behind the bow. And then I'll probably build up some sort of botanical behind the bow as well over the top of these lines, which is why I kind of paused on the watercolor paint for a second. That is so much closer than I meant it to be. Now I'm going to lean into making it wider and making it look like the lines don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. This would be a great gift for teens. Teens love to draw and sketch in anything but pencils. And there's so many in this set. Though make sure if you're getting the 72 set that you take it from the link I have directly listed below. The only reason I say that is if you use because I do have another link in the shopping cart for today that has the 12 set, the 24 set. And it has the 72 set in that link, but for whatever reason, that 72 set in that link is priced. It's not priced the same as this link is. And I'm not sure why that is, but it's not as cheap as this link that I have posted right here. So just make sure that if you do look at the 1224 link of these pens, that you're not just, what do you call it? You're not just clicking the 72 link and going from there, because it's just not the cheapest version that I've seen. This seems to be the cheapest link. Okay. And I'm just going to do a wonky one down here. A little bit thicker than the rest. Okay. Does not need to be perfect. Look how cute that is already. I love that so much. All right, I got to go back and look at comments. Hold on. For sure, letting go of the perfectionist. For sure. See, look at this. Ladies, we're all here in that same like elderly millennial Gen X zone for sure. Though I know there are some people who are in the boomer zone who love the watercolor too, and I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it for sure. But we're all definitely seem to find like maybe we just need a lot more therapy when we're in our 30s, 40s, and 50s. I feel like that's very possible. You know what I mean? It's looking very cute. So I definitely think I want to do some berries. I'm going to hit the paint pen with some heat just because it's very juicy. And if I go over it with paint, it potentially could bleed, and I don't really want that to happen. So I'm going to move into, I'm going to get rid of this for a second. I'm going to go back to those paints. Actually, I'm going to go back to the brush because the brushes are cool. It's a set of, God, I don't even know how many, 24 brushes for $33 is a pretty good deal. You're looking at $1 a brush, basically. And Artify has really good beginner sets for people who are intimidated and aren't sure what brushes to use. They're really good sets to work with. I'm going to grab some of this red. I'm going to spread it out over here, add a little bit of water. And then we're going to go in and make some berries. It is, you know what? It's funny. I hear a lot of people say, isn't watercolor the hardest of all of the paint mediums? And I don't think so, but I understand why some people might. I think some people see it as like, if you don't know how to lift your watercolor, if you don't know how to like fix your mistakes, if you don't realize that you just need to let it dry and you can layer over and make it work, there are a lot of people who are like, well, with acrylics, you just dry and you repaint, and then any mess that you made has completely disappeared. You do kind of have to work a little bit more tenderly with the messes, right? The messes are not going to just necessarily go away. There are tricks to making that happen, but no promises, right? That being said, I feel like the minute you put down some paint, it doesn't make it permanent. And with acrylic, it's pretty permanent. Like once you put stuff down, it's kind of done for a while, you know? But I don't know. From a personal standpoint, I need efficient and fast. And I can't make something fast with acrylics, not in the layers that they're meant to be made in. And I often have emergencies where I have to stop what I'm doing, especially when my kids were younger. And I could not walk away with my paint without it potentially drying and wrecking. And then I couldn't use it again. And that felt like a giant waste to me. Watercolor seems like the cheapest of the mediums because all you need to do is buy one palette and it'll last you a long time. I'm going to put a couple up here too. And then a couple down here. I do too. I think if there is a let go feature that's pretty satisfying. I think that's why I started, quite honestly. I was a mom at home when my husband was working in a medical field during COVID. So he never got off. He was never home. And I needed something to, break the cycle. My kids were all 6 and under, and I wanted to die a little bit, And I'm also a teacher. So I also had to deal with the fact that I had students at home that I had to support. And it was just a lot. So I needed something that felt a little bit more free flow, but also something I could control, I do too, Blues, for sure. I absolutely do too. All right, so I'm going to come in here now with some branches. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm going to come in here now and add a bit of pink to those berries. And all I'm going to do is mix it with the original red, that crimson. So it's like a different tone of red here. And I'm going to add them in and around the other berries that I already have, just to create a little bit of contrast, to make them a little bit more interesting. I will be using mixed media as well. So you're going to see some crayons, probably some more ink work for sure. And maybe another one here. Okay. And now I'm going to build up the branches. Now I'm going to build up those branches. Okay. So this brush, by the way, is a size 2 round. So if you're curious about brush sizes, this is a round 2. I'm going to grab this one. This is the burnt umber. I want the darker branch, I think, especially because we're going over all of the tones that are already kind of underneath. And honestly, I will probably end up sketching and painting over these branches with pen or pencil in a few minutes. I'm actually going to pull this out and mush it out over here a little bit. I actually think I want to make it a little bit darker. So I'm going to add a little bit of indigo to that. Nope, this one's the indigo. So it's not black because I'm going to put more brown in it, but the indigo is going to give it a cool tone that I really like. Tap taps. Thanks, friends. Okay. Also going to have some extra ones that come out that don't have any berries on them at all. So you can kind of see that as well. You know what I just recently bought from the TikTok shop that I'm super excited about and that's arriving today? Have you guys seen that viral, I say it's viral because it keeps popping up in my feed, the reindeer hat, like the winter reindeer hat that has the little, it looks really soft, and all of the people that keep promoting it say it's super soft. I'm getting that today and I'm so excited about it. I got a notification saying it's coming today, and I'm like, what's coming? And then I'm like, oh, yes. So excited. Okay, I'm going to build up some more branches around the outside of these berries as well. My voice is so croaky today. My radio died earlier today, so I'm not playing any music. I hope that's okay. It just means you get to hear more of the chaos in my house, I suppose. Really? I think so. Honestly, I think my problem was last night. While we were having dinner, the dog was sitting under me, and I'm actually allergic to dogs. So like we have dogs and it's fine. Like it's not like I can't have them around the house, but if I love them up too much and touch my face, I go into full allergy attack mode, and it was terrible last night. Like I could barely like breathe. Like I had to take my inhaler. So awful. So I feel like part of it is that, but I don't know that we generally don't have too bad of an allergy season around here because I'm in Buffalo, and at this point it's more prepping yourselves for winter snowstorms, you know? All right, so this looks pretty good. I'm going to go over this bow one more time with a little bit more blue just to bring up some of those shadows. I'm going to go in here and just add a little bit more shadow in those spots as well. So I'm just putting little V's in there, and then I'm just going to add water and spread that back. I'm going to add a little bit more in here too. And just let that spread. Okay, kind of like that. And then in here too, where the bow is starting to tuck underneath the other parts. Okay. I'm going to hit this with some heat to dry, and then we're going to go over it with some other mixed media. Huh? Okay. I guess it's a Texas kind of day, ladies. This is where the good stuff is coming from, Texas, that's for sure. All right, let's do some more pens. I think I'm gonna bring this bow a little bit more to life with some of the pens again. So I'm gonna pull those back out, and then we'll probably do a little bit of soft crayon over the top to finish this one up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pin the smaller version. And some of these pens are cool because they do come in, there's a set that is like a skin tone set that's super duper beautiful. I don't know why I'm pulling it out this way. I'm going to use this lighter blue, and I want to go over this a little bit. I just want that to be a little bit lighter in some spots. I just want the blue to pop a little bit more than it's popping right now, so I'm adding a lighter tone to some of those. Thanks for the hearts and everything, everybody. I appreciate it. And then I'm debating about with this bow, I was thinking about adding a gold. Let me see. Let me put more blue in here first. And then I like to mush it around because I like the idea of it looking more soft inside the bow than the lines necessarily. So when I go like this and I shade in that area, the bow than the lines necessarily. So when I go like this and I shade in that area, but then when I lift it up and you look at it, you can see the shimmer. And then it's almost like paint. It's almost like finger paint. When you go in, you doodle, and then you use your fingers to move the paint around. And like I said, if you're interested in the 72 set, which I have, and I'm currently working out of. Oops, I did do that, so I might have to fix that later. Just be mindful that you want to use the other link that I put in there for the better price. I also like the fact that they sell these in just one, like they have a green set, they have a red set, they have a yellow set that they sell. The pens that I'm using right now, Dawn, are the ones linked below. They're the Aura Sparkle pens. There's this, that set comes in, let's see, there's a 12 set and a 24 set. So the 12 set is $15.98. The 24 set is $31.27. And then, but I think the better deal is the one where you get the $7 off, and that's the 72 set, which for a lot of people, that's not in their financial range, but it's with the coupons, you would get it for under $50 for the whole set. And I use mine all the time for these kind of paintings. I'm not sure. Well, let's use some red anyways. I'm going to go to the berries, and I'm going to use red for the berries. And then I'm also going to use maybe some pink for the berries, actually. And then I'm going to use some skin tones for some of those, because there is a skin tone set where you can just get skin tones. But if you're into doing like more vintage art, whether, you know, you're doing like more browns and stuff, that could be a really beautiful thing to add to the vintage art is that sparkle with those browns and tans and really beautiful tones. I'm going to actually do it over the top of some of the berries and then create new berries. Hi, Jay. Is it okay now, Jay, to do Christmas stuff? I know it's not Thanksgiving anymore, and I know you've been staying away. I get it. I would have done the same thing if I weren't an artist. It's good to see you, though. Okay, so now you're going to see the pink sparkle on these a little bit, but you can kind of, if I zoom this in, you can see it better. So you see the sparkle and all of that, and then you can see it in the little berries down there too. It's so fun. I never thought I'd be a sparkle girl, and here we are. Okay, I'm going in for the browns now. These are going to be beautiful on the branches. So I'll zoom this in so you guys can see it. Oh, it's less than a month. When's your birthday? Well, I'm happy to see you again. When is your birthday? Is it Christmas? Is that why? Because you have a birthday Christmas that you hate it so much? Or not hate it, but you don't want it too soon. And I'm just going over some of these branches with the same pens that I've been using, just sparkly. So if I zoom this in, hopefully you'll see the sparkle. And yep, do you see it? Inside the branches. I mean, some would argue you don't need to do watercolor paint at all. You could just do these pens and get all of the effects that you want without doing any of the detail work underneath. And they're not wrong, but I like going over some of the bits and not all of the bits. All right. Capricorn, December 27th. Yes. I know, Priscilla, you're right. You're right. So not that this is equivalent, but my dog Rolf, his birthday is the 27th as well. And he's an old man, so we're always looking forward to that date to see if he gets there, because he's going to be 11 this year. For a boxer, I guess that's pretty old. So, all right, so we've got this one. This one's turned out pretty good. I don't know if I need too much more, maybe just a little bit of a black pencil outline, which is what I was talking about earlier. I always do a little bit of a pop of pencil. Excuse me. I think it just brings things out a little bit more. And then in here, over and around. It just feels like it brings everything a little bit more to life, you know? And then there we go. I think this one is done. And then that little extra floof on the end, I'm not going to worry about it. Could I try and fix it with something else? Sure, but it's going to look like I'm trying to fix it. So I'm just going to let it be. And if I really wanted to let it be, if I really wanted to commit to the mistake, add a little bit more there and smush it. And a little bit more here and smush it. And then it looks like it's all intentional. And then no one will even know. You know? No one will know. They'll think you did it all on purpose. Thank you, Lori. Yeah, it turned out real cute. I love that you're a crab. Only the best kind of crab. Okay, let's do another one. I'm not going to do a present this time, though. We have these two. Just to give you there's kind of the theme right there. This one I did with the pens making that gingham look. And then I just left the background basic. And then this one I did the stripes in the back and left the bow, I mean, as basic as a bow can be, but left that a little bit basic too. Bye, Priscilla. I am very much a slacker, that's for sure. How simple you made this. Oh, I hope you do, Priestess. Please do. All right, let me get some more paper. Where did I put my tin? Oh, there you are. And then I was showing everybody yesterday. If you weren't here yesterday when I was live, I can show you. These are all the papers that I have painted from these tins. Now, you guys know I love the tins, right? Or if you don't know, these are the watercolor paper tins that I have been using for years now. I love them so much. They come with 24 papers, And so it doesn't feel precious if you screw one up. But like, these are all of the paintings I've done on these tins. Most of these are from last year, with the exception of a few. And this one actually has, I actually put the wax medium on this one. So if I put water on this, so like this is the wax medium that you can use to protect your art. So if I put water on this one, like, let me see if I can drip with a brush. I'll show you. I need a bigger brush. Do you see how those little bubbles are just sitting there and not soaking in? That's because I covered it in a wax medium to protect the paint. And so literally all I have to do is just be like, oops, sorry. And it doesn't do anything, which is pretty awesome. But so a lot of people ask me about that. Can you protect your paintings? You sure can. It does take some time. Basically, you want to make a thin layer over the top of the paper and then let it dry for, I would say, anywhere from 18 to 24 hours. And then the next day, you just want to buff it out with a piece of paper towel. And then it's good to go. And I did it with all of these, actually. I want to do bells again. These bells were really fun. These are all from last year, guys. And this is the first time I've seen these postcards as accessible as they are. I need to do these guys again, too. Look how cute they are. This one's my favorite, though. And then I did a pickle. I did a Christmas pickle. This one and this one. And then this one was the banger from last year, or from this year and last year, because I actually just reposted the tutorial for this from last year's. And then this, and then these are the ones I just did a couple days ago and yesterday. They're great. I absolutely love these cards. I love that I can store them in these tins as kind of like a place of memory, or potentially turning them into stickers, because I do like to do that too, where I will take my art and I will clean them up and send them out to a production company and they will make them stickers for me, which is super duper. Right? So good. I love them. All right, so I'm going to do a stocking. I think that's what I want to do. I've been thinking about it for a while and I want to do a stocking. So I think I'm going to do a stocking with some botanicals, because I really have been trying to maintain some sort of botanical week, because for the past few months I have not been able to paint a lot of flowers, and I'm mostly a botanical artist, so I like to have that kind of stuff in my art. So all right, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put the brushes back up, or the paints, it doesn't really matter. I do love a filbert though. And then I did not end up putting crayons on that one painting. I will definitely be doing it with this one. And if you have any questions about anything that's in my shop, just let me know. Okay, and then after I'm done with you guys, I'm going to go and get some coffee, because I have not had coffee today, and I did not have coffee yesterday, and I'm feeling it. Okay, so I'm going to do a stocking. You're probably wondering why I'm doing it in pink, but I'm going to build up the layers over this stocking, hopefully. Like that. It's looking a little droopy, but that's okay. I definitely want that to be a little bit more pronounced. I did drop a hair in there. Okay. And then I think I'm going to do the top in a green. So when you put these paints in, they will dry. You just have to reactivate them with water. And that's totally fine. That doesn't mean that they're bad. Like that. Okay. And then I'm going to come back in here with some stripes, I think. It's going good.
It looks really good.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to put a bit of a bottom of that foot right in here. And then we'll do a toe as well. Like that. Okay. Yeah, my kids are pretty great. Though I think my daughter is she's on an investigation. Someone drew on her things and she's trying to figure out who did it. So she's having her sister and brother practice drawing a heart because she's pretty sure one of them drew on one of her toys. So
I didn't. Plus, I got it for her birthday.
I know, but she's testing things out to figure out who did it.
Unless I did it in my sleep, which
I don't think you did it in your sleep either. No worries. I don't think that happened. Okay, so let's do, I don't imagine why you would do that either, but we're going to go ahead and give this a hook. Like that. And then we're going to put some botanicals coming out of there, I think. Okay. I'm just quietly listening and investigating. Okay. Did someone draw a heart on your Pomni? Where is it? Can you wash it off?
I've tried.
Try a magic eraser. I don't know if it'll work, but go in here. Go under here. Do you see that blue and red box? No, come back over this way. I think you might see it better on that side. Go, no.
I see it.
Yeah, if you can get it from the other side, try and use one of those sponges. Maybe it'll take it off. Okay? You don't need a lot. Here, I'll rip off a piece for you. Use that, wet it down, and see if you can scrub it off of her. Okay. All right, so let's go in and add some botanicals. I don't think I want that big of a brush stroke, though. We're going to use the round one, but not the round one. This one is a size 4. It is like a filbert as well. It's just a tiny filbert. Okay, so let's do some botanicals in here. Give me just a second. All right. I think I'm going to start with some greens, but I think I'm going to build these greens up to be a little bit more nuanced. So I'm going to add a little bit of this brown to this green to give it more of an olive tone. Okay. Okay, so I read somewhere to make the magic eraser last longer to use a spray bottle with it. Huh, that's interesting. I'll definitely look into that.
It didn't work.
Leave it on the counter. I'll play with it a little bit later. Maybe I can get it to work. All right, let's do some more, maybe plopping off this way. I'm also going to change up some of these tones. So I'm going to kind of mix back and forth between adding different greens into the leaves to make them more interesting to look at. Okay. A cotton ball with rubbing alcohol might remove it. All right, I'll check in with her. It's like you know the squeezies, like they're made of plastic, but they almost remind me of like the stress balls. So she's got this character that she got, its name is Pomni, and her brother got it for her birthday, and it's just got like it looks like red ink that was drawn on its face as a heart. And so she's understandably upset because she doesn't know why it's got a heart on the face now, because she certainly didn't do it. And I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that either her brother or her sister did something like that. So she's trying to figure out who did it, but also trying to fix it. And so maybe the alcohol with a cotton ball will work. I know, they're so cute, aren't they? I also like that I did it when it wasn't super dry, because you can see it kind of spreading out a little bit, like it's blending a little bit, which is nice. And then I'm going to go back to my small brush here and make some pine leaves, but I want to make them darker as well. So I'm going to add a little bit more brown to this green, and I'm going to add a little bit of blue from the indigo to this green. And then it's a much darker tone. So just so that you can see, I added a little bit of blue and a little bit of brown to that green to make it a little bit more interesting. So Maggie is the middle, and she has a younger brother and she has an older sister. But both her younger brother and older sister are, much to their dismay, very similar to each other in that when they're bored, they have a habit of cutting things or drawing on things. And it wouldn't surprise me if either one of them actually did it and are refusing to admit that they did. So I'm not entirely sure who to believe. The mistletoe one, I can probably, when did I do the mistletoe one? I can probably do that today. I should have time. After I'm finished with this one, I'll do the mistletoe. Yeah, so, and the actual sticking used for what color? I love how pale. Okay, so this is, I'll show you because it's from the paint set that I have. I think it's this one. It's not that one. It's the pale pink. Give me just a second. It's in my stack. Pink, peach blossom. It's not the peach blossom. Maybe it is the peach blossom. Hold on. I think it might be this one. Yep. It's the peach blossom from the Mead and Watercolor paint set that's linked in my shopping cart. And it's only $20 for the whole set, and you get like 48 paints, which is wild. So this one I'll show you. This one. You get the tubes. You get all the tubes for $20. I think you can get a smaller set for cheaper, but it doesn't come with that pink. So this one, I just want to click on it and see if it's in the smaller set. It is not. It would be in the 48 set. So you'd have to get the 48 set to get that pink if you really loved it that much. The paints are all really good. I don't have any complaints at all about the paints. Well, except one complaint is that there's no black green in this set, and I love the black green, and I wanted it in this set, and it just isn't. So that's kind of annoying. But all right, I'm going to keep making some more pine boughs or sprigs. I'm going to darken this up a little bit more. And I keep thinking about the fact that someone damaged her toy, and I'm like, what the heck, man? Like, it's literally, they do it because they're like not thinking. They're in like zone out mode, and they just like, it's like they need something to physically smush or do when they're zoning out, and then they just do it, and then they're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I think it would be Priestess, and it comes with so many colors, especially this pink. I mean, if you want pinks like this, there are other pinks. They have a pale pink that's also really nice. I did not fill that in here though. All right, do I want to put flowers in this? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to stick with these. I'm going to up here mix this pale blue. This is a super light blue with some of this green to make that color. And we're going to put some of that in here as well. Maybe I could do some eucalyptus. And this color feels a bit out of place, but I can add some green to it to make it fit in more. And then maybe another one this way. Okay. And then I'm going to go back in with this green and just add it in here and let it spread. This is the beauty of wet on wet, is that you can just kind of let those colors play together and not have to do much. Kind of like that. And then we'll put some berries in here too, because who doesn't love berries? I mean, maybe somebody doesn't, but they certainly look cute in a piece of Christmas watercolor art. Oh, no problem at all. I keep going back to Robin's question. I'm new to your page. Can we rewatch previous lives? Not generally, no. Not unless we repost them somewhere else or post clips of the lives. So, for instance, like this live, I will probably repost on YouTube because I don't have any sound in the background and I'm not going to get hit by YouTube for copyright infringement for posting music. So that's kind of nice about not having music in the background, but not all like TikTok does not automatically reload everyone's live. If they did, they probably wouldn't have space for anything on their servers. So I would imagine that unless we are posting specifically somewhere else, you're just not going to see the replay. I will do that with this one. I'll have to look and see if I have the mistletoe one. I can still repost it. They basically keep your lives for 30 days. And then after 30 days, all of that content disappears. This is so cute, guys. I don't really think I need to do too much more to this. This one would be fun to paint. I mean, it's fun for me to paint, so I'm going to tell you it's going to be fun for you to paint. Okay. In fact, I could see myself doing this one again. I really like this a lot. All right. Let's hit this with some heat and then we'll add some sparkle. Oh, I'm so glad you're back, Jay. I love having you on my lives. And while I'm drying this, if any of you are interested, Meeden does have the probably the best deal I've seen on their advent calendar. And it's got a mix of different things. It has watercolor stuff. It has mixed media stuff. It has acrylic stuff. It has really cute little doodads that you could just have on... I don't want to give anything away because some people love the surprise of an advent calendar, but there's definitely some good deals there. My sis rolled her ankle yesterday, so we're trying to figure out the urgent care situation. Ooh, do you think it's just a sprain? I mean, I think sprains hurt probably more than broken things sometimes, but all right. Did I hit that with enough heat? I'm like looking at it right now and I'm like, that is still very wet. I need to go over that one more time. Okay, that feels a little bit better. All right, I'm going to go in with the pens again. I already have some out, but I don't think I'm going to be using blue on these, so I'm going to put the blues back. I'll keep that brown out. And then I'm going to grab some greens, maybe some fun greens like this one. Could be really fun on this one. No, not really. Why? No, I've only been on for an hour. Yeah.
That's normally your ending.
No, normally I'm on for like an hour and a half. All right, and then we'll add some red. Okay, and maybe some gold, maybe. All right, let's go in here and we're just going to add some sparkle to all of the goods that I've just painted. And you don't have to color over everything, but I do love that now it's got a little extra. Now you could do this with just watercolor shimmer paints to begin with, but watercolor shimmer paints are funny because they are often not super transparent, or they're not super opaque. So sometimes you almost need an underlayer when you're playing with watercolor shimmers or glimmers. Not all. There are some people who are making them that have very good opacity, but I would argue most of them you're almost kind of like fighting to not have it be see-through when you're painting with it. But I just like these because it's easier to hold anyways, and I like layering anyways. Layering is fun for me. All right, let's come in here. I'm going to actually add some veins on that. And then just so that you can see, there's the shimmer right there. And you don't have to add veins to everything. I don't. Sometimes I just put the long vein down the middle and leave it. Sometimes I do a half of veins on one. I like to change it up. I don't want to be predictable. I mean, I'm kind of predictable, but I don't want to be too predictable. Also, I get bored with myself if I'm too predictable. I also like to doodle around the open white spaces too. So like even here. And then down here, I'll have another one. I just think it's more interesting to look at when you've got some negative spaces with all of the filled in spaces. All right, let's make some more berries. And then I'm going to go back into the top of this as well. Oh, yes. Firefighter Mom, I love it. Just a hit of that light green there. I'm debating if I should just leave this open. I might. Like I was thinking about putting polka dots in here, but I think I might just leave that alone. Look how cute that is. That's perfect. I don't need to do anything else to it, I think. No, I lied. One more time. I feel like I'm listening to a soap opera. My kids are all talking about how to handle my daughter's stuff being drawn on. Okay, I think that's done now. They're so bad. I've rolled my ankles so many times. I have the weakest ankles ever. Yeah, I think we should leave it. I think I just put a little bit of black in there to bring the structure back, but I think that's perfect. Let's do another one or something like it. I really love it so much. I think it turned out great. We're just going to change the stocking a little bit and maybe same greens inside, but with a different stocking. Oh my dear God, I'm listening to my daughters right now. I heard the whole thing.
Okay.
Yep, we're understood.
How'd it go?
Good, I'm not done. I'm still live. All right. let's switch this out. Nope, that is full. I need another one. There we go. Last one for today. Last one.
Wait, Mom, what time are we having lunch today?
Ask your dad. Okay, let's do another stocking. I'm into it. I'm super into it. Okay, let's do maybe a yellow one. Well,
I want you to dress a lot nicer because we're going out. Don't make faces.
all right, I'm going to do this color. We're going to try and do it this way. Do you ever have the moment where you're doing something the opposite and you're worried you're going to mess it up? Like I'm trying to do the opposite direction to this one. So it's like pointing this way. And I'm like, did I screw this up already? I feel like I might have. Okay, that's not so bad. It's not as great as I would want it, but it's not so bad. All right, so I'm adding some wet on wet here. I'm going to close this out. Rosie, I spend so much time with my kids. They are not lacking in love and affection, I assure you. All right, I'm going to do red on the top. Also, my husband is home. So it's not like there is no one here to care for them. There are some days where they are so reliant upon me. This is my opportunity to take a step away and still be present if they need me. So if something were really the end of the world, I would obviously be here for them. Okay, so that's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna hit this with stripes, I think, but I think I'm gonna do stripes all the way down. Should I put the toe and the heel in? Self-care is very important, and this is why I paint for self-care, because as I told many of you at the beginning of this live, I was home by myself with my kids when they were 6 and under. And when my husband came home, this was the only way I could care for myself in those moments because I couldn't leave the house. So I needed something. And this was that something. So I'm not concerned with how Rosie would care for her kids. I am concerned with the health of my kids and the health of me. And my kids will not get a good version of Christine if Christine is not taking care of herself. You know? And I want that message to be spread out to all the moms. Okay? So moms or non-moms or whatever, your priority is you. Your kids are not going to be properly cared for if you are not taking care of yourself. That looks really good. I'm just going to say that. Okay. Let's start doing some botanicals off the top. I think I'm going to do some of those leaves that I did before, but we're going to darken them up. Okay. So up in here, I'm going to mix some of this brown into this green. I need a little bit more, I think. So it's going to be more of an olivey, woodsy kind of green. All right. You know what? People are going to have opinions and they're going to share them and we're not going to agree with them all the time. And I'm okay with that. But don't because here's the thing. I know my value and I know the value of my kids, but don't make other people feel that way. Like there are a lot of people who are very insecure about their ability to parent and their ability to prioritize their kids over themselves. And I just don't want other people thinking that she's right. I mean, maybe that's the right answer for her and her kids, but it's not the right answer for mine. And one person's version of parenting is not the same as someone else's. My kids come on these lives all the time. and hang out and don't, you know, like sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. All right, I don't know what I need.
Dude,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
39 degrees out.
No shorts, dude. Go through the laundry down here and see if you can find some pants. Okay? Your pants aren't here yet. I did order you some though. Okay? Besides, we're all going out to the theater in like 45 minutes. So that's why this is going to be my last one. Oh, no. It's a good one. It's a good one. I'm going to go in through stripes here. I'm going to use that light green that I used. I'm going to go in and just throw that down in here too, I think. And thanks for the follow. Like, Rosie's mom can take care of her kids any way she wants, but she is not telling everybody else what's appropriate for how they care for their kids when she does not know their situation and how their lifestyle looks. And again, the mental health of the mom is way more important in that scenario. Look how cool that looks. So I squeezed all of these paint tubes into this. And so I'm painting directly from this, but the paint tubes actually come from this box, okay? So this box is where all of my paint tubes came. Obviously, it's a mess right now, but they come in these little scoopy things. And you get 48 of them, which is a lot. It does not come with a paint palette, like a tray, like this does. You can buy these super cheapy at a lot of different places. I have an example linked, but I would recommend finding them somewhere else. Or you can just use a plate, but you need a ceramic plate. You're not going to be able to do it very well on a paper plate. You might be able to pull it off on a styrofoam plate, but that you're going to be adding a lot of water and fighting with it a little bit. So, and they will dry, but you just reactivate them with water. That's not a big deal. All right, let's go into, I'm going to do a blue-green, I think. So up here, I'm just going to take some of this ultramarine and mix it with this green. Darken that up. There we go. I am not superb at watercolor theory, like when it comes to color theory. I'm okay, but I'm not superb at it. A lot of it's just instinctual. You pick the colors you like and see how it works and looks together. And then eventually you pick the colors that you like most. You see which colors look the best together. I think it's good to take a watercolor theory class, just a color theory class if you have the opportunity to. I've taken a few and they're helpful, but I don't get too wrapped up in them because I just don't have time. Okay, these are just weird leaf branches. I'm going to pull out some sprigs and then some berries like I did on this one. Maybe no eucalyptus on this one though. Yeah, ceramic plates work best. Or glass plates would also work. Or you can get those silly little circles with all the little circles in them. You could get a pack of those for like under $10. Probably like, I don't know, you could probably get them at the Family Dollar for $1.50 or $2 a little circle. And then you can just use that and then clean it out and redo it. So I'm using a round brush, but I mix back and forth. This is a filbert brush. Filbert brushes are really fun to do those really round leaves. You could do one single brush stroke or you could do two. So there's like this idea that you could do a double brush stroke. Here, I'll show you. So up here, you could do like one brush stroke down and you get that thin little leaf. But then if you go ahead and add the extra stroke on the other side and then just pull it back in, and if you want it even bigger, just widen it out on the other side. This took 3 brush strokes. This one took 1. This one probably took 2, just to give you an idea, okay? But it just comes with practice. You're not going to get it right away. It's going to take some time. Oh, I'm so glad, Lori. I think leaves are actually harder than they look. And the people who focus on just practicing leaves are super smart because I actually struggle with veins on leaves the most, which I think is interesting because I don't like how uniform they are. And I feel like they look not very good because everything looks so loose and bright. And then I go and I try and do the veins and then they look so like stuck and stoic and I don't love that. So I try and go in there with the mindset that I can do lots of different things. So like in here, this is pretty light. I'm just going to add a drop of watercolor there. I'm going to add up that same color over here. It's still a little bit wet, and it's going to blend in with the greens that are underneath there too. Maybe I should do a pine cone. Oh God, is this a bad idea? This might be a bad idea. Okay. So I'm just going to go in and make some pine coney type shapes. I'm not going to worry too much about how realistic it looks. The vibe is there. Okay, that looks like a pine cone, right? That'll do. And then let's do another one up here. Just lots of little scoopy shapes to give the impression of a pine cone. Look at it. It worked. Yay. And let's do a little teeny tiny top here, popping out underneath. Look at that. We did it. Yay. And then let's do some berries. Okay. We'll tuck some back in here too. I do want to brighten up that top part too. I want to make it a little bit more vibrant. Okay, so I think we're filling up there pretty well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. All right, let's brighten up right there. And then we'll do it right down here too. Yes. And then I'm actually going to go back into this spot real quick and put a little bit more and a little bit more right there. And then underneath here, I'm going to do the same thing. Like that. Good, 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 good. Very good. And then let's use, I'm going to use that burnt umber again, this one, to do some of these branches kind of popping out. Okay. And that looks pretty good. Maybe one more leaf here in a brighter tone that I can blend in a minute. And then down like that. How cute. So cute. Almost done. Let's hit it with some heat and then we'll go over the top with some mixed media. Thanks, Fairway. All right. And then some of those last bits, we're going to use these pens again. I'm just going to go right through that a little bit. And you don't have to. You could leave it. But this is my opportunity to add shimmer, and I'm going to do it. And then again, here's that shimmer up close. You see it? All right. And then I'm going to go into the leaves, and this is where I'm going to add some veins, but I'm not going to be super precious about it. I'm going to add like maybe a half a vein down, like here to here, and then maybe outline it a little bit. And then up here, I might even change over colors. I might add some brown veins in here too, because some of these leaves have that brown tone to them. Like that. And then I'll outline this one. And it just adds a little bit of hit of something extra, you know? And then if you want to add some more leaves that are not painted on the page, you could totally do that. And then just drag them back in with that ink. And then maybe another one here. And just pull that back up in there. And then I'm going to outline this red. what kind of pens am I using? What? So the pens I'm using are the set that you see linked below. Is that what you're asking about? They are glitter pens. They're glitter gel pens. You can get them in 12. You can get them in, I'm going to add it to the Pinecone too. You can get it in 24. You can get them in 72. And then you can also get them very color specific. So there's a skin tone set, which is lovely. That's where this brown comes from. And then there's also like a green set, a red set, a yellow set. I think there's a blue set as well. And then almost finished. I'm just going to hit it with some black pencil. And then I'm going to scoot because we're going to the show. And we're leaving in a half hour, so I need to look nice. Huh? Okay. All right. Look how cute that turned out. Let's seize a little bit here. Oh, you know what I did not do? I need to go back. I need to add a little bit more of these guys with that pen. I planned on using crayon today, guys, and I just didn't feel the need. Like, you know how you pull out certain art supplies and then you just don't use them the way you thought you were going to?
It's gonna be a while to get to. It's gonna take a while to finish lunch, so.
Look at that.
I don't know how long.
I'm happy. I think it looks good. I think I still like this one a little bit more. Which one do you guys like? Do you like the green or the red more? Both are cute. And then don't forget I did do this one first. But look at the shimmer in that one. Yes, so good. Do we have a favorite? Thanks, Angel. Both. Definitely different reasons, right? I really like the pop of green in here, and I was really worried about it at first. After I put it in, I was like, oh, I don't know if that's going to work. But then blending it, it looked really good. Yeah, I like the red too. But then I really do like the brown tones in this one. Yeah, I think I like the red more. I do too. I think it's that pop of that winter green in there too. I think that hit the spot for me for sure. But, well, guys, I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you get some good deals if you're shopping. And if you're not shopping and just chilling, I hope it's a good day of whatever you need to make yourself your best self and not feel obligated to the people around you to not take care of yourself first. Because if that's the message of today's live, it's you are the priority and your family is not, or your people are not going to get the best you if you don't prioritize yourself first. So if that means hanging out on my TikTok and just watching me paint, you do it, friends. And if that means painting a little or taking a nap, you do it. You know what's best for you, and your family is going to love you anyways. So it was so nice to meet all of you, and I'm so glad I got to hang, and I will probably be back tomorrow. Oh, look how fancy everybody is. No, okay, I take it back. You don't want to hear that from me?
I don't want to be fancy.
What?
I want to be comfy.
We're going to a show, a fancy show.
Mom,